So I am in the middle of riding an emotional wave, or let's say trying to ride an emotional wave, and I thought it would be very beneficial to voice out this experience for you, just in case you might relate to this. So I'm feeling sensations of almost like sadness coming up right now. And almost like the sadness isn't allowed to come up right now. And so I asked that part of me, I asked that sadness, well, why? Why do you not want to come up right now? And the answer was, we don't have enough time. That was that protective part of me saying, we don't have enough time to feel these emotions. And then the question is, well, why don't we have enough time? And the answer is, well, you have a Reiki session in an hour and you're not ready. So there's going to be a time limit on how long I'm allowed to feel these emotions for. And so what's the result? The result is this part of me gets repressed because there's no time to bring this emotion up. And then what's going to happen after? After the emotion comes up, what if I'm an emotional mess and then I need to serve others? It's a common story in my life, rooted from childhood. There's no time for me. There's no time for my emotions. There's no time for my needs. There's no time for anything. That I just need to follow the rules, follow the plan that's laid out by my parents. And it doesn't matter what I feel. And so that part of me needs more freedom. That part of me needs more expression because it's so repressed, and it continually gets repressed over and over and over again because there's no time and space for it. And I don't know about you if this sounds familiar. And it might even be unconscious because we get so busy in our life that we're not even connected to the parts of us that are trying to come up, to be seen and heard, the emotions that have so much wisdom in them that they're trying to be released, because there's just no time. Because what would happen if you actually saw it? What's going to come up? Because that emotional wave, that feminine flow is so powerful. It's a force of nature. And once you take the top off, who knows what's going to come out? And it can't be contained by time and space. Yes, it needs a container to have the space to be seen and heard and to be held. But it needs to know that it's allowed to have the space. It's allowed to take the time. And if it doesn't, it's not going to come up. So something that I've discovered, building my business, something I've discovered in building business is that part of you a lot of times needs to be repressed so that you can take action. That part of you sometimes doesn't have the time and space. It needs to be put aside. And if this is a common theme for you in life from childhood, it's going to really, really trigger you. And I can understand from a business aspect if you are just always allowing this emotional wave to kind of like take over and not have a container and not have structure around it. You'll never get anything done. But there's also the space of if it's been repressed your whole life, you need to create more time and space for these emotions to come up, to be seen and heard, and to be released. Because that repression is really affecting your ability to manifest the things you desire. It's really affecting your ability to sit in higher frequencies and emotional states, because these lower vibrational energies are trapped in your physical body. And if you don't create the time and space for them and you keep repressing them, they're going to keep you in that state until you see and you hear them. So my advice is, when it comes to building business, or just even being in any relationship in general, begin to create more time and space for these parts of you that have been repressed your whole life. And over time, you'll start to feel a lot lighter, less resistance in your physical body, and things will begin to start to flow more. Your intuition, your creativity, and you'll begin to have more energy to create and do the things you desire. And it won't feel like force, because when you have a lot of repressed energy in your body, and your body, your inner child is telling you, I need to be seen and heard, I need these emotions to come up and to have time and space, that's going to create a lot of resistance in your life. And it's just going to feel like you're walking through mud over and over and over again. So I learned from a mentor to put these parts aside, set up a time to address these parts, and come back to them so that you can get stuff done. Now, I see the value in that, but I don't 100% agree with that mentality, because when you put them aside, and if you're feeling a lot of resistance and not in flow, it's going to be a lot of force to get the work done that you want to get done. So at the beginning, it's better to create the time and space for these emotions, and then take action when you're feeling like you're not in resistance. And then over time, there's going to be less need for feeling into and releasing these repressed emotions as you become, I'm going to say emptier inside, but it's not you're empty. You're actually becoming more full because you're less numb. And there's going to be more time and space for getting the business actions done. And then eventually it's going to become this beautiful balance and this flow of taking action and releasing and feeling into and observing your emotions. And it's not going to be one or the other, because when you choose it's one or the other, that creates a real internal battle within you. And that's going to create more resistance in business and taking actions, more resistance in your relationships. It's also going to create more resistance in your physical body, because you're repressing these things that are trying to come up to be seen and heard. So what I've learned from this is to create more time and space for these emotions, so that when I have a time limit, it's not going to feel as threatening. It's not going to trigger me as much to be like, okay, we need to get ready for this session where we're serving, which is our mission. Because I will have made more time and space for myself at other times. So the part of me that's feeling things coming up is going to be like, okay, that's cool, because I know and I trust that she's going to come back to me, that she's going to see and hear me. And right now she committed to something else, and that's totally fine. And she's coming back. This is, in attachment theory, they call it an anxious attachment. If you don't believe that the partner, the parent, you anybody's going to come back to you, you're going to create this real anxious attachment, which is going to create this like internal chaos and this protest behavior of like having a tantrum. And I feel that energy within me right now. It's like, she's not going to come back to me to see if I'm okay, because after the session's over, she's going to get back into business. And so it's going to take me having to have a tantrum for her to see and hear me and to create space for me. And that really feels so strong in me based on childhood. That is how things were. I would hold it in and bottle it up until it was just too much, and then it would explode. It would explode in a tantrum or an emotional explosion. So really sit into and feel into this experience. How does that feel? Do you feel like your emotions are being contained with time, contained with space, that they don't have enough time and space to really be released? And what do you need to allow yourself to have the time and space for that? The part of you that's trying to manage everything and control everything. What does that part need of you to relax, to let go, and to allow these emotions to flow through you?